Welcome to Extreme Desire. This week we're going to be in Southeastern Oregon. We're going to be hunting some antelope, speed goats, pronghorn, whatever you want to call them. It's our good friend Peggy Russell and her daughter Keighla both have tags.
The whole family goes, Neil, their other daughter, grandkids. It's always a great time at Antelope Camp. I think you're going to enjoy the show. Let's get to it. We get out there day before season and get our camp set up. They took their travel trailers. Candy and I just threw a tent and popped up there in a little campground. Great times. Family all shows up.
I think we'll keep them for a while. What do you think?
For a while.
We got Candlin, Peglin, and Neil Flopper.
I'm the pancake flipper, but we're not having them today, so I'm just watching.
And Neil and Peggy had done some preseason scouting.
Yeah, Peggy, she'd waited so long for this antelope tag, and she had gone out there every free weekend all summer. She'd spotted her a beautiful buck, and every time she went out, he was in the same spot. And then they had just devastating fires, and she went back out a couple days before we got there, and they cannot locate this buck. He's gone. The fire blew him out. So
Yeah, burnt the area.
So she worked so hard, and we were starting from square one all over again.
Yeah, so all their preseason scouting they had done basically was for nil. I mean, it was gone, it was over. We get up early the next morning, crack of daylight, and gonna do some scouting and see what we can find. It did make, as you can see, some beautiful sunrises and sunsets, horrible smoke, but we were out there day before season, crack of daylight, trying to find her another buck. We wasn't out there too long, and we started seeing antelope, and she did locate a buck, a beautiful buck. Right off the bat, you girls named him Crooked Horn or
Yep.
something like that. Beautiful buck, big buck. You can tell he was an older buck, and that was it. Peggy decided she's going to shoot this buck. So they spent that day. We watched that buck that morning. We went back out that evening, and she had him located, and that was it. I mean, that was the buck we were going to be hunting for. And Keighla also had a tag, and she was going to be hunting opening day on the other unit. The units were right on the dividing line, and so Keighla was hunting one side in a different unit than Peggy, and she was going to be heading out the next morning, and everybody was going to go their different directions on opening day.
Well, opening morning, we headed right out, and the buck was not where he was the night before. He'd actually moved on to some private property. It was a big, beautiful ranch there. So Peggy had her heart set on this buck, so we thought, well, can't hurt to ask, and we went and met with the ranch owner, and super nice people. And he did allow her to go on there after this particular buck.
Yeah, so we, once we got permission, game was on, we're all pumped up, and they have a big hay field and a pivot off to one side. This buck was over a ways from it at this point, and so we started sneaking and crawling, and we get Peggy up to this big rock corner post in the fence, and he's up there, and this buck's, he's probably 250 yards out there, just about right for a good shot. And we get her up there, and she'd had herself so psyched up. She'd been watching this buck now for a day and a half, and she is excited. We get her set up, and she starts breathing and trying to get her breath and trying to get it, and we calm her down, trying to calm her down. Well, I think we just had too many people coaching, and I'm telling her to pick out a tiny little spot and pick out a dime. She thought she had to shoot the size of a dime, but if you aim small, you hit small. Then pretty quick her legs start shaking, and she's got this jittering going on. And that's when we had a pretty good idea it may not happen this time. So we had to lick our wounds and try it again tomorrow. That's all we can do. We got back to camp that night, and we heard that Keighla had been successful. So they had a little celebration, and you'll see Keighla's hunt shortly.
Welcome to Extreme Desire. Western big game hunting. It's not always perfect, but it's always real. Proudly brought to you by Benchmade Knives, made in USA. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitters. Coast Products, professional tools for the outdoors. Hanwag Boots, outdoor footwear since 1921. And Kafaru International, gear for life. Free range, public lands, Western big game hunting. It's our extreme desire.